Hello, hello. Welcome to Copper Kettle. Let's try that again. Welcome to Copper Kettle Farms Live. So we've already got some folks hanging out with us this evening. Skinner Farms was here earlier. Matt, friend of ours here locally. We've got Papa Z, we got Mama Z, we've got Donald.
Ugh, oh my god, all these ads.
Oh, right. We've got ads now. And we've got our ads. So there you go. So one of the things we're going to talk about today is we've been reading a lot of books. We've got all kinds of things going on right now on the farm. We really missed kind of being live with you guys last week, but I mean, a lot of people didn't go live last week because of the holidays. People were out watching fireworks, and right now, last weekend here in Gettysburg was reenactment weekend, where they actually reenact the Great Battle of Gettysburg, which so happens to be just a couple of doors down this year. So there was a lot of cannon fire, gunfire, and noise, so it wasn't going to work anyway. This weekend in Gettysburg is Bike Week, which means like 10,000 bikers come and descend upon Gettysburg and ride Harleys up and down the street. You may hear one during the live. I apologize. There's not much I can do. They are so loud. Hey, Jesus. Hey, Suze. And yeah, so it's been kind of a chaotic week, but we're glad to be back and looking forward to just chatting it up, talking about what we've been up to, what we've been reading. And of course, I want to give a shout out to our channel supporters that supported us last week or the last couple weeks since we finally got monetized. Mama Z's Texas Kitchen and Stringfield Ridge Farms. Thank you guys for the super chats. We definitely want to support people that are supporting our channel. So thank you guys so much for that. Next week, we will be launching the membership portion of the channel. We've sat down and figured out what we want to put in the membership tiers. So if you guys are interested in that, there will be some goodies that you'll get on all the different levels. So expect them by next week. You have to record a video before you're allowed to launch it. And we just haven't done that yet because we've been recording other videos. We got Darren from Down Under Farm and Forage from the Land Down Under. And what else? Oh yeah, and we put out the Brussels sprouts video yesterday evening. I meant to do it Friday. That didn't happen, but I made it for lunch on Friday, and I filmed it on Friday, and I edited it on Friday, and it came out last night. So if you guys like cheesy goodness, this is a good one. Definitely check that one out. What was that?
It was good.
It was that. You're not Italian. Isn't that an Italian thing? Look, you made me snort on camera.
Snort on camera? Worth it. It was so worth it.
Anyway, so welcome, you guys. One of the things we wanted to talk about, we've been reading a lot of books lately. Donald got some new earbuds, and they're actually really nice. He's actually able to read them or read audiobooks or listen to audiobooks or whatever during his work hours now. So I actually have a link in the description below if one of the mods want to grab it of the earbuds that he's been using. They're really good. I tried them out. You can like turn the volume up and down, and you can stop and start the audiobook. So that's been helpful. I'm actually thinking about doing the same thing. Just kind of like wear earbuds while walking through the garden or whatever. If looks could kill. I get those looks all the time. I give those looks all the time too, so it kind of evens out. So what is it? You just finished a book, right? You just finished a really good book.
Yeah, I just finished the Teaming with Microbes.
This book, Teaming with Microbes. He just finished that one, and you said that was really good, right? I
highly recommend that book to everyone.
He's actually going to have me read it now. And
yeah.
That's also in the description below if you're interested in checking this one out. What kind of stuff was covered in that book? Actually, I should probably not have it over your head. At least if I can do that.
So I actually listened to it on Audible.
There you go.
And I 100% recommend that book because it not only does it explain the different types of microorganisms in the nutrient cycle. What are you doing? But it also gives you little tidbits on compost, mulch, lawns, compost tea, how to create them, how to implement them, vegetables, annuals, perennials. I mean, it goes through a whole gamut of stuff. And it is very, very good stuff in that.
Would this be your #1 recommended book on soil?
Right now, yes.
So if you're into soil science to help build up your garden?
Yeah. This is right now, this is my #1 recommended.
And the link is what Donald just posted below. But you just started another book too, right?
Yeah, I just started The Soil Will Save Us.
Tell us about that book. Are you grabbing the link first?
Yes. So I'm about halfway through with this one now. And for books, especially through Audible, they're probably about, both of them are probably about 7 hours. So like I'll usually listen to it on the way to work, on the way home, because I have like a 45-minute commute. But now that I can actually hear it with the earbuds, I walk around work and I'm listening to it, and it knocks it out quick.
Yeah.
But
hey, overworked.
Yeah, The Soil Will Save Us so the first one is more about the actual science of it. The Soil Will Save Us is more about the different types of scientists and farmers and ranchers that have come together and created this stuff, or thought about it and worked on it. That's what it's. And the author does go a little bit more into, not a little bit more, but a little bit into each one. But it's just a collective of stories. It is still really, so far it's really good. It's a lot of good information. Gives you, for me, it gives me more people to look up and try to follow and see what they were doing.
Yeah, so definitely check out that book if you're interested too. I've actually been reading, I am not reading books quite as interesting, I don't think. I've been focusing a lot on fiction lately. So I've been reading this book. This is the second in a series. The first one was called The Little House of Found Things. This one's The Secret of the Chocolate House, but it's pretty interesting. If you've ever watched Outlander and the whole going back in time vibe, this one's more oriented in like the 1500s, maybe 1600s, and modern day. She goes back and she's like learning how to, or she has this power where she can go back, but she has to go back to like save people. So it's almost like Sliders from the 90s. Do you remember that show from the 90s, Sliders? Yeah. So it's really interesting. And I really enjoyed the first book. That as soon as I got my credit on Audible, I got the second one and I just started that. So this one's a really cool book too. If you like fiction, and this is kind of like a London-based time travel, cute cottagey type fiction, which is what I like about it. So those are the books that we've been reading lately, which I'm really big on those. So let's go back to our banners and realign without the book in the middle of everything. Need to read the scientific text to sit in my head properly. What? Need to read. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So and honestly, I prefer to have paper books myself, but what I've been doing, at least for we do own. Do you own both of those books? I know you own Teeming with Microbes.
I own Teeming with Microbes. I don't own the other one.
For me, I read slower than I listen and interpret.
Well, I don't own the actual book yet.
Yeah. And a lot of the fiction, there's so much fiction out there. I don't know what's good and what's not. So I figure I'll read it audio first, do the audio version first, because I can listen to it while I'm in the shower. Because I don't really have time to sit and read as much as I would like. But I want to get through these books. My goal is to read 10 books this year. And this is my 4th. I only started in April though. So I think I'm still doing pretty good. So if I like a book a lot, then I'll buy the paper copy. If I know I'm going to use it as reference material, I'll probably buy the paper and listen to the audio for now, and then just use the paper as reference or something. But I've read reference material for so many years. I was kind of talking to myself like, why did I not start reading fiction sooner? Because I feel like I've missed out on just years of creativity and all these wonderful stories. Because I used to read a lot in high school, but you get to a certain age and it's like nothing but reference material. And I feel like now my brain's being nourished and these creative juices are flowing from watching or reading all of these fiction novels. So I don't know what took me so long. I kind of hate myself for it, but it is what it is. At least I'm reading them now.
My next book is going to be For the Love of Soil.
That you're buying paper?
That I'm going to be reading.
Aren't you already reading that?
My next book, as in the one after this one.
What's this one called?
The Soil Will Save Us.
Oh, okay. For the Love of Soil. Okay.
The next one is For the Love of Soil.
Soil books.
And it's strategies to regenerate our food production systems.
Now, are you saying to cut down to 100 books that you've read or own? Because 100 books in a year is a lot. I feel like you're talking about own. Yeah, we have so many reference material books between herbs and gardening and soil. And it's not like that's not bad. I still plan to hoard as many of those books as possible, but I definitely have been enjoying the fiction. I think it's something that I missed, I guess. And I like reading, but there's like my brain is so many browser tabs open at any given time. It's easier for me to get distracted if I'm sitting there physically reading than if I'm listening to it. I feel like sound, maybe I'm sensitive to sound. It's easier for me to stay focused on that because it just dominates my brain waves or something. I don't know if that makes sense. What I like about Audible, we found out, Down Under reads a lot. Oh, wow. He reads 100 books a year.
No. That's his goal, is to cut down to 100 books a year.
Well, yeah, but I couldn't even read 100 books a year. I'm reading like 10. There's a site called Goodreads.com, and it's basically almost like a social network for people that read books, but it's not really a social network. You create an account, you can friend people on it, and then you list the books you've read, books you would like to read. They have a thing right now where you can create your own challenge for how many books you want to read this year. And I put mine as I want to read 10 books this year. Other people put like 20 or 100. I don't know. But it lets you see what other people are reading. And I've been trying to keep that updated. And I really like that Audible. We found out you could create it. I already knew you could share Prime accounts. So Donald uses my Prime account. That way he doesn't have to pay for his own. And use the free shipping and stuff. But you can actually share your library with each other on Audible. So I can read all of his books, like Teaming with Microbes, and he can read, I doubt he'll read my books, but he could read my books.
I already read your books, baby.
Well, that's because I send you messages throughout the day saying, oh my God, this is what happened. And I do too. And then I'll come in from the shower because I'll listen in the shower and he'll be in bed and I'll come in and be like, oh my God, guess what happened? So he's kind of reading the footnotes from me of the books that I'm reading, which is funny. But they're interesting, right? Ish. Yeah. And he's like, yeah. But what else have we been up to? We did our first outing last weekend. We had not been out to a gathering since December 2019. I was thinking, because we didn't do it in January because that's when I got really sick after that wedding. Didn't go in February last year because we had a house fire.
Wedding.
Well, yeah, January 1st wedding. But I'm talking about like with the kindred, I guess. Is what I meant.
We just meant.
Whatever. You just sit over there and look pretty.
We're just doing any outing whatsoever.
It's fine. Whatever. So, and then February we had the house fire, and then March everything. Stupid. But we went out this last weekend, had an outdoor cookout with some friends, had steamed crabs. It was really nice. It definitely felt like, when you have a really good bond with people and you haven't seen them in years, but when you get together, it's like you never left. You never stopped seeing them. And that's what it felt like. That's what it felt like. Where did that come from? But it was still weird because I'm not used to having
Comment of the year right there.
what? What, Skinner's comment?
Yeah.
I think Skinner's biased when it comes to all of this, so it's fine.
The fact that you don't agree, you
You
cut me deep just then.
cut you deep just
Cut me
then.
real deep.
Cut me deep. But yeah, it was nice. It was nice getting together, and we are actually thinking about going to the movies tomorrow, which we haven't done since 2019 either, because we want to see Black Widow. We have Disney Plus, but what I don't like about Disney Plus is when they launch a new movie, you have to pay $30. And I'm like, well, I can pay $30 and go to the theaters and get popcorn. Stuff my face with popcorn. So we might go to the movies tomorrow for the first time. We'll see.
And then part of the experience, by the way, and I was telling her about this earlier, and I don't think she really agreed with me or showed much interest in it.
I just didn't care.
But part of the experience of the theater is watching the previews with your significant other while eating a large tub of popcorn that no one should be eating. And just
He got this from a TikTok, by the way.
good. It's serious. It's true. It's facts.
He says I must have been reading his comment and it brought out the accent in her. There are times where some kind of weird drawl comes out. I don't know. I do have weird words that I say, like now. Sometimes I'll say like now. I'll make two syllables out of the word now.
Right, meow.
They're not meow.
I didn't say meow. I said meow.
Meow. See? What's that movie that they do that?
Super Troopers.
Super Troopers.
No,
TikTok
TikToks are real.
Yeah.
They're real.
Dude, TikTok is awesome. I've learned so much from TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah. We love TikTok.
I don't know what I was supposed to add there, but yeah, okay.
I just said, yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as far as what else has been going on, we have a project that we're about to start. I'm not going to go into too much detail yet until, like, I just got a bunch of information together for it last night. I might announce it by the end of the month. So some of you guys know Donald and I are tiptoeing in the crypto world. I don't expect anybody to do that and even to understand it, but we are figuring out a way, and I think this is a really good creative idea, but we are going to figure out a way to create a project that's based around our farm as Copper Kettle Farms and the animals that we have and the story of us and our farm and everything we do here. And we are going to monetize it in a crypto fashion. I know that sounds a little weird, but I really think that this is something that's going to really bring together technology and crypto, like online crypto things, and homesteading in a way that, how do I put this? The way that I'm going to market it, I'm going to use this as a tool to raise enough funds to pay off the farm, which is massive. We've still got $120,000 left on our mortgage here. But if this goes the way that I think that it will, and at minimum, we'll be able to pay off every single debt that we've ever had, including the house. If this goes well. I can't get into the details too much yet because we're still putting together the little bits of everything, but we're going to create a video about it. We are going to, I've already got a website together for it. We are going to launch it probably next month in August. So I'm so excited about this. A lot of people aren't going to understand it, especially in the homesteading world, but I really want this project to kind of be like a marriage between people like us that like living off the land, that like living off the grid, that like being less connected and less tech savvy, but kind of bring that, and the people that are moving the world forward in a tech savvy way together. So it's going to be I mean, this if this works, I mean, what did we say? It was going to bring in at least a minimum of $230,000 is what we think, because we were doing calculating. So this is going to be a massive project. I really want to tell you guys about it, but I'm not going to do it yet because I want to get more details straightened out. But this is something that I think, just keep an eye on our channel. We're going to talk about the process. We're going to go through this. Very transparent. So I'm just ridiculously excited about this. And I just wish I could tell you guys more. But keep an eye out on the channel, because I think if this project works, it's going to be big for the homesteading community in general. Who we got? I got Thorhaven hopped in here. Delicious from Naturally NC. Did you see my comment on your video, by the way, D, about the mud with the pigs? I cracked myself up. Yellow Rose Homestead, welcome, welcome. Skinner asks, is it something anyone can do? Yes. However, because this is such a new technology, like crypto in general, it's not new, but it's new enough that people, let me get this off my face, sorry. People are adverse. They don't really trust crypto. And I completely understand. I'm not saying anybody should or shouldn't do this, but I think people in general are very, like, I don't want anything to do with it, the whole cryptoverse. But I'm not that. I love experimenting with new technology. I love experimenting with new ideas. And if this one does the way that I think it's going to do, then I think it's going to be massive for the homesteading community. But yes, anybody could do it, to answer your question. And what are you? It's not that sexual. So I plan to probably announce it within, I don't know, maybe by the end of the month. We'll make it public. And yeah, it should be interesting. It will involve crypto, though, just to give you a heads up. So if you're not familiar with crypto, ask me questions. I am not an expert at all, but I have I have dove into it a little bit, and so I'm happy to talk about it a little bit. I actually got Mama Z into it, and I think she made $80 or something. So not sexual, I'm out. I mean, we could make Donald do a striptease on the camera, right?
No. We want people to come back in, stay.
Well, certain people. Everybody here is great. We've had some people that...
We don't want to lose people.
Well, we've got some haters. Actually, do we have any thumb downs on this
Nope.
yet? Surprising. Maybe the haters from... Right? Maybe the haters from before got tired of it. I don't know.
Now we have 72. Thanks.
72 thumbs down. How do I get started? What, in crypto? That's a long video that may not, or a long discussion that may not happen during a live. And I mean, not everybody's interested in crypto, so I don't really plan to talk about it tonight on the live, but I will message you. I was trying to think of the easiest way to get people involved in crypto. I think it's just download the Coinbase app, really.
Yeah.
Start there. Coinbase. There's an app. Download that. That's a good start. But I'm going to ask, like, after the lives. Down Under said he'd throw money for Donald to stop stripping. Now, wait. How much money?
How much money are we talking about? Because I might start just to stop. That'll help you drop down to 100 books.
Yeah, we can help you drop down to 100 books by taking your money from Donald stripping. Yeah. I think that was kind of our big topics, right?
Sure.
Sure. So garden-wise, we are very behind on everything.
We're pretty much skipping this year.
And then we're
doing a fall.
Not fully. We are behind on a lot of our summer crops. It's fine. We still got some we're going to plant. I still got tomato plants. I still got zucchini plants. But we did not do well with the garden this year. But my goal is, we've already got a site kind of started to do a fall garden, winter garden. Like, to me, at least where we're at in Pennsylvania, I feel like we can just have year-round gardens. So to me, it makes sense that we shouldn't just focus on the summer garden. If you can grow year-round, grow year-round. And that's what we plan to do. Is we're going to have a fall garden, we're going to have a winter garden, spring garden. So we'll still document that. But the summer garden did not a lot of it didn't happen this year. It was honestly, it was too hot and he was too busy. And I was too busy with my business. So that's one thing, that's a kind of a goal that I want to do by the end of the year, is figure out a way to make more time for things at home. Because honestly, being self-employed, you will work yourself to death. And I don't mind working for myself, but I feel like I could be more efficient with my time and work where I'm not, that's all I'm doing. You know, like I have time to clean and garden and do all these other things. So if I say $1 and it's not enough, he needs to get his gear off, or think it through. So what else were we going to talk about? I think that was pretty much it. Do you guys have any questions for us? And we can talk about Donald stripping some more. I am okay with that topic.
Skip it.
No, I like that topic. We can continue that.
And we can talk about it.
We don't have seasonal gardens. We have get it in the ground now before it's too late to garden. Too late gardens. Now, who was that author that does the winter garden books? Isn't he from Canada?
Oh, 𝙂𝙧𝙧𝙀𝙀.
𝙂𝙧𝙀𝙀. Isn't he from Canada?
I think so.
There is a guy that writes books on that. We are 6B, but the guy that writes the books on winter gardening, I think he's from Canada. I don't know if that's something you're interested in exploring, Darren, but it might be worth it. Actually, I can look up the book real quick just to get the Amazon thing. We have a bunch of his books that, I mean, they have some really good, I mean, it's not like it's
American. He's American.
Is he? Oh, okay, never mind.
New Jersey.
Well, who's the guy in that's Canadian?
Oh, that's the Jean-Luc.
Jean-Luc. Does he do winter gardening? Regardless, this guy, 𝙂𝙧𝙧𝙀𝙀, he does show you like different seasons. So there's a link to the book, one of the books that he does. So he's got at least 2. Hey, Unpaved Explorers, welcome, welcome. Can't garden in 5 foot of snow. See, I think if I, because we can get some deep snow here too. I think for me, that would be where you would have, like, because you have that really cool greenhouse. So I'm wondering how well like greens and root vegetables would do in that greenhouse in your winter. The other issue is I wouldn't want to walk out to my greenhouse in 5 foot of snow. So that could be part of the problem. I wouldn't want to do it. Our winter garden is going to be on the other side of the house, not down there by the garden, because I don't want to walk down there when it's snowing. So one of the things, I'm going to fall and bust my butt in the ice.
This guy.
Hey, TJ Miller. Which guy?
Jean-Martin Fourier.
Jean-Martin. Oh, you didn't even put our
what?
Our affiliate
I
link.
don't know how to do that crap.
I'm going to have to learn you.
You're going to have to learn me. Baby, I'm just good knowing where to go and copy and paste.
You know, for someone that's a gamer, I'm way more tech savvy than you, I think.
I'm not a PC gamer. There's a difference.
Well, me being a PC gamer doesn't have anything to do with my tech savviness. You know electronics.
I know electronics, doesn't mean I know how to do PC shit.
Well,
or stuff.
Maybe you should learn.
That's too much.
But yeah, we're going to try a bunch of like leafy greens, chard, some root vegetables in the winter garden. The fall garden, a lot of the same stuff, but a couple winter hardy stuff, or fall hardy stuff like broccoli, cauliflower, stuff that doesn't do really well in the heat. So we'll see. Yeah, your greenhouse is nice. I hope it does give you guys a few more months.
You do have a good, nice looking greenhouse.
And I think we decided, with as hot as it's been getting lately, that we are not going to do spring projects anymore. We're going to do fall projects and then have them ready by spring. Because spring came and we just got insanely busy, and then it got hot quick.
Yeah, spring was like a day.
Yeah, spring was like a day here. And then it's like, well, we can't do the projects we want because we're just going to have a heat stroke. So we're going to change all of our spring project ideas to fall. So we're going to start our greenhouse in the fall. We never did get it up this year. So that's a fall project now. All of our spring stuff has been moved to fall. Some of us rely on others for tech, which reminds me, can you message me, Crystal? Yes, I can.
That's why I married her.
Why?
Tech.
It's not why you married me.
For the benefits.
Yeah.
But I gotta do this. I'll plug this in. You do this.
Are you going to be available tonight? You want me to message you tomorrow? Because I know it's.
I'm right here.
Morning for you right now. I'm not talking to you.
Oh, dare.
Yeah, I think it's morning for you right now. We won't be up too late past the live. We'll be up past some, but we are. I think we're going to go to a bookstore tomorrow. We don't have any good bookstores near here, but if we drive like 45 minutes up the highway, there's a Barnes and Nobles. I don't know that I've ever been to a Barnes and Nobles. So we're going to go to a bookstore, and then.
You want to go to that other one too, right?
Which one?
The one where it was like where we went in the basement.
Oh, in Harrisburg.
Yeah,
we can go to that one too. I like that one.
Where's the Barnes and Noble?
Carlisle.
Oh, Carlisle. Okay.
Yeah, it's been too hot. I mean, we went out last weekend. Yeah, last Sunday. We bought, what was it, 9 watermelons?
9.
So we bought 9 watermelons and froze them because Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday were going to be so miserable. And so we just cut them all in half, froze them, gave them to all the chickens and the goats, and they devoured them. I mean, they looked like they were
we have Delaware
bloody
chickens,
mess,
which are white, and they were red.
It was funny watching them.
Murder chickens everywhere.
I think it helped. We did lose one chicken that we think was a heat stroke. It was one of our big Delaware roosters, right?
Yep.
So we didn't realize. We knew we were missing one, but we didn't realize where he was until we started smelling something.
Yeah, and I went looking, so I was like,
he was under the deck.
Under the deck, under the stairs.
It was pretty gross. So the frozen watermelon, that was actually suggested to us by Big Bear, Robin over at Big Bear Homestead. And it worked great, I think. The goats loved it. And I'm just paranoid about having animals when it's this high out. Like what was it? Arizona, somewhere recently in the southwestern United States. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but I saw it trending on Twitter, was the hottest the United States has ever been on record this week. It was 130 degrees.
Where?
Somewhere like Arizona, like maybe the Mojave Desert. The hottest on record in the United States ever. 130 degrees. And I feel like it's just going to get worse. So I feel like, our methods of farming going to change now? Is the season going to change now? So if it's that hot in the summertime here, does that mean we're going to be pushing our season to fall or spring?
Well,
planting a little earlier or later?
Hopefully it does change the methods of farming and they go to regenerative agriculture. So
regenerative agriculture.
So we can start building up the carbon soil and all that.
Yeah, so Mama Z says it was Death Valley. Yeah, honestly, I do feel like farming is going to change over the next couple of years, especially if it continues. I almost feel like Al Gore warned us about this. It's going to have
like 30 years ago.
Massive cold and then massive heat. And who knows what's going to happen. I just want more trees, plant more trees, build more soil. I think those are the 2 biggest things that we could do. Plant more trees, build more soil, less CAFOs, more personal gardening. I think if we got more people involved in all 3 of those processes, it would solve so many problems. But maybe that's just a simple solution to a big problem. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like more people growing their own food, relying less on mass-produced food, more trees make the world not so hot, more soil to make the, well, again, to make the world not so crappy. Better food, less erosion, less deserts. Where was it we saw recently that used to not be a desert, now it is? We saw that recently on something.
There are a couple places that are like that.
Yeah. Frozen vegetables from the supermarket and a little waterworks too. Yeah, we actually have some, let me go up here. We have some, for some reason I decided to try to freeze zucchini. It was a bad idea. It's all rubbery when you do that. You just can't do it. Or at least I haven't found a way to do it. You could make chips or something, like dehydrated, but trying to freeze zucchini it didn't work for me. But what I did was I put it in Ziploc bags, filled it with water, stuck in the freezer. The water was to help keep it frozen. But I mean, I used some of the strips for the lasagna and it was okay, but it was still very rubbery. So I'm going to take all of that out probably this week and just give it to the chickens, because as it's melting, they can eat the vegetables. And I guess if nothing else, it's a good way to preserve chicken food. So, and I guess if you have a bunch of chicken or vegetable scraps, if you don't use them all up in, say, broth, or if you feed chicken scraps or scraps to your chickens throughout the year, if you have like an overabundance, you could freeze that and then give it to them in the winter or when it's really hot out. Something like that. I will say that this year it's rained more than it did last year. Last year was the worst drought since 1999. This year we've gotten more rain so far, but I'm waiting to see how bad that turns up. TJ Miller says, I chop up watermelons and freeze it for my hens. I also use muffin tins I fill with cups of canned corn and add water in the freeze. I think I've seen that canned corn idea on Pinterest. That's a really good idea. It's just a vacuum seal it before you freeze it. I actually don't have a vacuum sealer. I need to get one. I should add one to my wish list, but I don't have one. Blanching, I did blanch some kale and some chard to use in smoothies, and then I froze that. But no, I did not blanch the zucchini. Maybe that's what I needed to do. I don't know. I'll tell you one thing, with this heat though, it definitely makes me realize I'm going to have to build a summer kitchen. It made sense in the 1800s when summer kitchens were more of a thing, but trying to can in the kitchen in your house in the summer, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. Summer kitchens seem like the way to go. So I'm thinking get a gas stove, get a nice propane hookup, maybe do it out in the garage or something, but I don't want to can inside. It's too hot. I already have just an air, we don't have central air. I just have window units. So our scraps go in the compost in the summer and chicken coop in the winter. Yeah, most of our scraps go to the chickens. Like as soon as I'm done cooking, they go out to the chickens. And that works. But I give them stuff like if I'm cutting up a cauliflower, the greens from the cauliflower that are bitter that you can't really eat. But if it's like onion skins or garlic skins, I save them in the freezer and then I make them, or I put them in with a chicken carcass and make broth. I think I have a link to the one we bought in my video, Crystal. Okay, I will check that out for sure. TJ, yeah, you have a good point, TJ. How bad are the wildfires going to be in California? I honestly don't know. It scares me. In Australia, like, how are you guys doing down there? You are in your, what season are you guys in Australia right now? Are you in winter? How does that work? Hey, Drops. Drops was our channel shout out for last week. We have 2 kitchens. It's really handy for washing eggs, canning, etc. Yeah, so you guys are in winter right now. Did you guys have bad fires? When was the fires, the big fires? Was that this was over the winter time this year, right? So I guess this winter for us, we'll find out how you guys are going to do with your fires this year. I felt so bad for everybody down there. Yeah, 2 kitchens sounds like a great idea. Yeah, we're usually not, with TJ's comment, we're not so bad here with the wind, with the fire risk, I guess. I can't think of it being so bad here. I mean, we do have a lot of woods around us, but I don't know. Hey, never enough time. Long time no see. Our trees propagate by burning happens every year here. Yeah, but usually not as bad as this last time, right? Because that seemed like it was all over the news here. Skinner says, I still have 30 acres of hay standing because it's rained so much here. How many acres do you have, Skinner? I didn't realize you had so many. That's one of our goals, is once we get this place paid off, is looking for our next farm, I think. Yeah, Mama Z had a really good trip. If you haven't watched some of her recent videos, she had a trip back home, which is a couple hours north of where she lives at now near Houston. But she is possibly moving to the family farm soon. So we might actually see some homesteading videos from Mama Z, which I'm excited about. Skinner Farms has 80 total acres. Nice. Yeah, naturally, I'd say I think you guys being, how far are you from the coast? You guys getting hit by the hurricanes would be my biggest concern there. We never, honestly, one of the reasons I love living in Pennsylvania is we don't have those type of issues. We don't really have wildfires. We don't really have tornadoes. We don't have hurricanes. You might get the occasional tornado. I've never seen one in my 40 years. So there's really not a lot of environmental issues here. Did you hear that? He said 41 years.
Oh, I'm going to die.
Little does he know he's 41 in September.
It's true.
What we're going to do is the live next to his birthday, you guys are all going to come in and wish him a happy 41st birthday. That's what's going to happen.
Jerk.
The big fires are normally when the green movement stops preventative burning or cattle grazing in bush areas. Green movement. Huh. Yeah, I feel like goats, well, I guess it depends. Goats, I feel like, would help a lot with that too. Yeah, don't poke the bear, Donald. So while we're waiting for more comments to come through, I do want to take a moment to give a shout out to our channel of the week. This is actually someone that was in here a little bit ago. I don't know if they're still here or not, but we were on their live earlier today. And our channel shout out for today is The Unpaved Explorer. They are a channel that does a lot of outdoor videos. He does how to cook rockfish. He does how to make catfish bait. A lot of good videos if you're into different outdoor things. So they've been very supportive of our channel. They always comment on our videos. So I definitely wanted to provide the same support back to them and give them a shout out. So if you could check them out, give them a like, and check out some of their videos, see if it's something you guys would like. We certainly would appreciate that. We love supporting those who support us. So thank you so much for that. Well, let me get us back up here. There we go. I see Terry's in here. City Girl Country Heart. Welcome, welcome. So who got it first? Did you get it first, or did Mama Z get it first?
On mine, I did.
Okay.
That's just on mine. Like, yeah, it shows me above her.
Yeah. Well, I had to check because Mama Z always beats you, so you know I had to be sure.
Well, I mean, pretty amazing.
Have any of you guys been watching Loki at all, by the way? Because we are pretty into it. We're liking it. I like everything Marvel, though, to be quite honest. So it's just fun. Fly. Am I missing anybody else's comments? Never enough time. How are things going for you guys over there, by the way? I know you guys had kind of a rough year. Skinner Farm says the original family farm here was 1,000 acres. Oh yeah. I feel like people, and Donald's experienced this in Texas. I experienced that with my family farm that I grew up on. Nobody holds on to the land, the family heritage anymore, it feels like.
They want to sell it off to make that quick buck.
Yeah. They did it with his great-grandmother's farm. They did it with my family farm. Like, land is the one thing that doesn't really go down in value. I mean, I guess I understand wanting to sell some of it if you need the money, but yeah, I just don't like the development of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the woods behind us, 200 acres, were recently sold. They're going to have a 300 home community back there. It's not going to be up directly on our property because there's 3 lots between us and them that are fairly big, but it's going to be more people in our woods behind us, and that sucks for us. It's another reason we want to move eventually and get a bigger farm. Word. So our goal right now is, if this crypto project works out, we pay off the farm, we save up a bunch of money, we'll continually making passive income from this project as well. And I think we're going to stay in Pennsylvania. We did decide that. We love Pennsylvania. Absolutely love Pennsylvania. Out of all the states in the United States, I think this would be my #1 place to homestead in. Hands down. I absolutely love it. But I don't know if we're going to stay near Gettysburg. We don't know yet. If we can find a property around here, that would be great. But I don't know. It'll depend on Donald's job, where he's working, how work's going. I can go anywhere, but yeah. Ours was 40 and now it's 11, yeah. The one I grew up on was 52 acres, but it was right up to a 2,000 acre reservoir park area with a dam. And I remember hearing the stories, my great uncle or great grandfather or something like that, before the dam was built, we owned a lot of that, like a lot more of that, but eminent domain to build this dam, to build this big lake so that they could provide more water for Baltimore. So he held them off for about 2 weeks with a shotgun tied to a tree. Didn't win, obviously, but now they flooded out a lot of that area where it was part of our land from when people in my family settled here in the 1800s in this area. So that sucks. But now the person that bought the family farm, I think I was 16 when it was bought and sold. I know we still stop by and visit. He lets us come visit. He lets me walk the farm whenever I want. They tore down the old barn. A lot of it's different, but I do remember him saying that he's thinking about selling at some point. I don't think I'd want to buy it though. I would love that property back, but apparently the new neighbors next door are kind of jerks, and the school system for that area is horrible. So I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to be there. It's in Baltimore County. So I don't want to live in Maryland anymore. As much as I love being a Marylander, there's a lot there that I don't like. So Pennsylvania is, I think, where we're going to stay. We love it here. Stacy says they have family that has property in West Texas and Arkansas, 2 places I didn't want to live. Arkansas property, we don't actually own the land anymore, just the mineral rights. Yeah. West Virginia would be very pretty, but I don't know a lot about. I know there's a lot of issues with mineral rights and logging rights in West Virginia. I'd have to do research.
Yeah, you have to do a lot of. If you get land, you also have to make sure you have the logging rights and you have the mineral rights.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they can just come on your land,
take your trees. Yeah. So which is weird. Like, you own the land, you own the land. Like, who thought up that system? Capitalists?
There was one company in Texas, I want to say it was Texas, where they were notorious because they couldn't get the land property rights, but they can get the mineral rights. They would buy the land beside that property and dig under it and siphon out the minerals. It was ridiculous.
Humans are awful. We are awful. We destroy a lot of things. I actually heard on the news today there's this like red, what do you call it in the ocean when it's like a red algae, red bloom, and they found like, it was like 40,000 fish or something just dead. I'm like, oh, look at us destroying the planet some more. It's great. Yeah. I wish that we could find ways, and this is going to be a very hippie thing for me to say, and I apologize if this offends anybody, but I really wish that we could find more ways to utilize sustainable energy, whether it's not necessarily solar panels, because it's wasteful to create solar panels. I understand that it's wasteful to create wind turbines. I understand that. But I feel like we just had a guy in space today. You know, I feel like we could figure out ways to make, red tide. There it is, the red tide. That we could make sustainable energy. I mean, the problem is, I feel like it's the same as with a cure for cancer. There's not money in cures, only in treatment. So there's not money in solving our energy crisis. There's only money in patching it. So, or creating band-aids for it. So I don't know.
But
it's
that's why
aggravating.
they're actually in the book that I'm reading, they're talking about celiac disease.
Yeah, celiac disease.
And there's not money in it because one of the treatments is just to not eat bread.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of research going into it to cure it. So there's no money in treatments.
Yeah. Yeah, passive solar housing, geothermal, stuff like that, I think could be beneficial. And certainly figuring out ways to reduce our tree consumption would be nice, but I don't know. I'm fine with still using wood stove heat as long as we're continually planting more trees. I love planting trees. I'll plant trees all day long. I love having trees everywhere. I feel like, and I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, when you're driving through a gully that's like, let's say you're in the mountains, you're driving through a gully and it's, a darker road because it's just got this canopy of beautiful trees. And so you got your window open, you're doing the hand thing out the window, and you can immediately feel the temperature drop like 10 degrees. And I feel like that's exactly how the planet operates. You get out in a field, they cut down all the trees. And this is one thing that we complain about a lot when we drive around Adams County. Sometimes we just drive around to drive around. And you just see these big open fields where they've put this new house. They tore down every tree. They don't even have like bushes out front, like brand new build of this house. And it's just flat and open. And I'm thinking that whole thing is just burning in the sun all year long. The heating bills have got to be crazy. Whereas here, I've got this big Norway maple. I've got this big, these pecan trees and this Kentucky bean tree and this Indian bean tree. And they provide so much shade. I still need like one or two more, maybe in the front of the house or something to provide shade. But the amount of heat that trees prevent, it just amazes me that people just tear down all the trees to build these houses. Why not keep the trees? I understand why they mentally don't want to do it. They don't want trees to fall on their house, but I mean,
I saw an article.
How often does that really happen?
Today or yesterday, where it was showing a picture of two streets in the same city in the same day. One has trees, one doesn't, and the one with trees was literally 20 degrees colder.
Yeah.
And it was like, but the ones there was like 100-degree day, and the one without the trees was like 100 degrees, and the one with the trees was around 70.
Skinner Farms asked, are y'all having problems with birds dying this year? I lost all my meat birds. Wow. And there are over 300 songbirds dead from unknown reasons. We have not. We lost one rooster, we think from just a heat stroke.
Yep.
But I did hear about some sort of, what do they say, like an eye infection or something that they noticed in some birds that were dropping. We have not had that issue. We lost some initial meat birds when they were first delivered, but I mean, most people, when you first get your first flock, you lose a couple. And it's a lot of it, I think, has to do with they just pile up under the heat lamp and crush each other. So we have 2 heat lamps and spread them out as much as possible. But no, we have not had an issue with that yet.
Now,
Never Enough Time says they're finally home. Frankie's working hard. Very long recovery. I'm glad to hear that. I was worried about you when I heard about all the stuff that you guys were dealing with. I didn't want to say specifics on the channel because it's not really my place, but I have been thinking about you. So I'm glad to hear that things are moving forward in a good way. Let's put it that way. I think it's from the 17-year locust. It could be. I did notice, and Dad said he noticed there weren't as many birds this year. And I kind of feel like there was an uptick in ticks this year. It felt like
a little bit,
because we think that, like, I watched my chickens chase those locusts around when they were still around. So it could be. I mean, this is only the second time I've ever experienced. No, this was the third time. The first time I would have been really little. I remember being 24 the last time they were around. So 17 years prior to that, I mean, I was a kid. So I remember when I was a kid, like my dad would tie a string around the legs of a cicada and it would fly around like as a toy. But this is the 80s, so. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting if you think about the whole 17-year cicada thing. You only get to see them like maybe
3 times,
8 times in your entire life.
I would say 3 to 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
5 if you catch them on the years.
So you only see this 4 or 5 times in your entire life. That boggles my mind.
And if you're in this area.
And yeah, and if you're in this area. And imagine what it was like for them 17 years ago. Like, our deck wasn't here. Like how different the world is when these cicadas come up every 17 years. How much is different? It just boggles my mind. I think about that weird stuff. Orion says there was an advisory around here to avoid as many bird feeders because there is some disease going around. Oh, wow. Yeah, we haven't had that issue here. But now maybe I should check into that more. Just in case. Solar heat gathering by piping through roadways, microhydro and water supplies, microhydro and creeks. Yeah, I would love to explore more. I know there was a big debate here in Pennsylvania about natural gas. I'm opposed. I'm very much a dirty hippie. I'm going to warn you guys ahead of time. When it comes to the environment, I love everything about the environment. I love being as natural as possible. And I think homesteaders in general like being that way because we understand how precious our environment is in order to survive and grow food and all of that other stuff. So I think you guys kind of relate to me on that. But when I think about things like natural gas and fracking, especially, I think about a car engine. And if you imagine the earth is like a car engine, and let's say you take all of the oil out of the engine, what happens to that earth or that car engine? It seizes up, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like the more we're pulling out of the earth, the oil, the natural gas, all this other things, it's like pulling that oil out of the planet. What's going to happen with all these plates and moving things? And you've got all the what's it when it creates a hole in the ground?
Cavity, void.
There's a word for it. Sinkholes and things like that. I don't know. I don't have the answers, but I know that I don't like it. That's the best way I can put it. Always been an environmentalist, but not a tree hugger. I'd hug a tree. I'll hug a tree. I'll be like, oh, thank you for providing me shade so I don't burn and die. But yeah, I get you.
That's actually going to be one of the next books I'll be reading, is 𝙎𝙬𝙧𝙎𝙪.
Ah, yes, 𝙎𝙬𝙧𝙎. Love that. Drop says, I'm working on getting my extended companion planting chart done. We'll do the community chat thing soon. Awesome. I would love to see that.
Did they even have that in here?
I got natural gas, just not enough to do me any good. Yeah. Anything else? So yeah, I don't have all the answers. I just know that I wish, oh, well, I wish I did. I know that I want to experiment with things for us. Our main heat source right now, we have one little electric heater in our bedroom, and then it's all wood. We just cut down dead wood behind the house. We are planting more trees as we can.
Orchard trees.
Silvopasture is hugged then cut. That's right. Orchard trees, and I actually want to start doing some evergreens too, because I want to create kind of a privacy border around our garden. Because the goats, when they eat pine needles, they love pine trees. So when you're done with your Christmas tree, give it to your goats. But because without the tinsel, because pine is acidic, it helps keep parasites down in goats. So for a while there, we were feeding them like a pine tree a month. So I'm thinking I need at least enough pine trees to feed the goats one pine tree in a month and have one Christmas tree a year, and then have it rotate over
So
and
we
over.
need 14. Let's just be safe. 14 a year.
And then how long does it take for a Christmas tree to grow?
A foot a year. A foot a year.
Foot a year.
So 6 years really is what 6 years what you want.
So 6 times 14, I guess. So how many is that?
It's 84.
So we need 84 evergreen trees growing somewhere. It doesn't even necessarily have to be along the garden, although we probably could put 84 trees around our property gradually, if you talk about front and all around.
Yeah, I mean, we can do it like 14 at a time each year.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping we're not here in 6 years.
Oh, yeah. Well, the other problem is, I don't know what I wasn't squeezing though.
It sure looked
It
like
sure looked like it. We were watching it, and you had your thumb on the cow's nuts, and like, because you were moving the band up and everything. And I remember my uncles doing that when I was little. I've seen that before, but I hadn't seen it in a while. But it looked like you were squeezing it, and Donald was like, "Oh, ow!"
I was going, "Ow, ow, 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 ow."
How'd I sit here? It was pretty funny. All right, what did I miss? Thinking of logging part of my property though to make more pasture. Yeah, it depends on your goals. If you do silvopasture, I think you're good. But yeah, we need to plant 84 trees. So we said 14 a year.
Yeah.
So I say we start it, because here's the thing. Even if we pay off this mortgage here, I don't know that I want to sell this property. I might rent it out, because we've put so much effort into creating a fruit orchard and building up soil and stuff. Like, I guess I could take all of those trees with me somehow. I don't know. It's a lot to think about. If we pay off the house within the next 2 years, maybe I'll sell it and then buy the next farm, because we won't have put as much energy into this as we could be. But yeah, I don't know. I still want to get 84 evergreens growing throughout the year. It was a warning video to Carol's future boyfriends. Yeah, I know what to do with you, son. All right, guys, we are ending or getting to the end of our live stream. Definitely, if you have not hit that thumbs up, hit that thumbs up. It helps us out, and it's just an awesome thing to do. It's effortless way, and it's a free way to support any channel. So if you're ever at a channel, give that thumbs up.
And it says you want to see more of our content.
And let's see. I was doing some research on dislikes. I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant
This
here.
is why I did this.
Because is it because you wanted me to rant?
Yeah.
So dislikes. YouTube does not really judge a channel on dislikes. Okay, it's not like you make them rank less. What it does is the person that is disliking a video is telling YouTube the kind of content they want to see in the future. So you are creating your own algorithm. It's kind of like with TikTok, the type of videos that you like are the type of videos that you will continue to see. The type of videos that you dislike on YouTube are the type of videos that you will not see. So it doesn't really hurt the channel. It just counts as engagement. And that's what YouTube wants. You're just formulating your own algorithm for what you see on YouTube. So yeah, so if you want to hit the thumbs down, feel free, and that'll help formulate your algorithm on YouTube of what you want to see. And hopefully that's not us. But if you just come here just to be, I'll say it, just to be an ass about it, then, I mean, joke's on you. You're still manipulating your own algorithm and you're not doing anything to ours. So have fun with that. Let me look at these final things before we hop off here. Got to get back to eviction of the chickens in the old coop. Yeah, we're actually going to be butchering probably at the end of the month, I think, both rabbit and chickens. Maybe.
End of the month, maybe middle of August.
Maybe middle of August. That's probably when we'll do our butchering. And show love to your local fire department. Yes. Can't believe you made it through the live with no haters. Give it time. It'll happen. I get a thumb down. I think everybody gets a thumb down on there. I think there's somebody in the homesteading community that's literally their obsession. They like to go around and just hate. So.
And what they're really doing is, I don't want to see homesteading.
I don't want to see homesteading. I don't want to see homesteading. I don't want to see homesteading. Don't show me any homesteading videos. So, all right, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with us this week. We will be back again next week. My goal this week is to put out a video on cayenne pepper. I've got most of the footage done. It's just some editing and some voiceovers I got to do. Definitely check out the Brussels sprouts video. It's actually really delicious. I mean, it's cheese and bacon and cream and Brussels sprouts. You can't go wrong. Check it out.
It's pretty good.
And yeah, I've already got the whole month planned out for the rest of the videos for this month. So we'll see you guys as we go. Everybody take care, and thank you for hanging out with us.
Peace.